really.
Well, I can't tell, so thank you.
Over there if anyone showed up.
He's alive.
Nobody ever showed up.
What is it? What kind of wood is it? Cedar.
How's Jim doing?
Good, Staples out.
Is Staples out too? Cool. During out too?
Pardon?
During out too?
Just see.
Had,
Yeah.
Rock last
No.
week,
Thank you so
and
much.
then Staples are all out. Just Staples left.
Cool.
Take it easy for.
That's good. Notes of what to talk about. I have my own time to talk and I don't have anything to say. But the only time during the day, isn't it?
Because you're all pumped up.
It's very like, right?
Yeah. When you're here for 10 hours talking the whole time, you get tired.
Poor baby. You can tell you get my sympathy.
I can tell. But, yeah, that's what I expected.
Yeah, they asked documents down and mix them up. Thanks.
Any ideas on where cultured kombucha could set up taps and how? Just had a lot of demand over here and I was looking for a spot. I thought about that. I think it would fit in the lounge. But then people could play that in there.
Right.
So maybe like a plastic place. Or James Street Market maybe. Does she?
Does she walk in that place where the insurance? Oh, and like the mushroom cake and stuff. And the baton, it's not.
Just keep getting bigger and bigger.
Just have two brand.
Just keep getting bigger and bigger.
That's a good thing.
And all the time, things keep getting better too. When I very first time on the
Is
list.
that where you're at? $8 for 6 pack?
Yeah, so.
That's cheap.
All right, let's go ahead and call this regular village council meeting to order 6 o'clock, March 14th. We can all stand for the pledge.
flag is just on the other side of that wall. Still.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know what the old.
Thanks, everybody, for
Let's
coming.
get like it here.
Somebody forgot to go get the one at Railroad Square. They will remember, they promise.
We need the little one that sits in the middle.
Not here this time. Roll call, are you ready?
Wales,
Here.
Bishop.
Here.
Dunham. Here. Larson.
Here.
Miller. Here. Needham.
Here.
White.
Here.
Seeking the approval of the regular agenda.
So moved.
Motion and support. All those in favor of the regular agenda, say yes.
Yes.
Anybody opposed, say no.
Or yes.
Threw me though, you're
Sorry,
really.
I was listening and not paying attention.
With the add to 3, the consent agenda. Board members can request certain items to be removed from the consent agenda for discussion. The motion is then in order to adopt all items not removed. After that motion is passed, discussion will occur on those items previously selected for removal. I take a motion for the consent agenda.
I would like to request that an item be removed. D.
Amendment to be made.
Do we discuss it now or after we?
You have to make a motion. I'll remove it.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the removal of item
Item B.
D.
D is
D.
done. Motion, do we have a second?
A second.
Motion and second, open for discussion.
Sorry, I've never done it before, so it's like, all new. Yeah, item D are council minutes from the special meeting, February 22nd. I would like my question to be included in the section where we talk about resolution 2022-009. To also reflect that I inquired about how the process was initiated, and who signed the application, and that it was replied that it was initiated through the manager and attorneys, and we're not sure who signed the application. I have it written down.
Angie, she has it ready if you want her to share. She said,
Oh, okay. Waiting fast and furious. There's a few edits in there, but I think they're. Thank you.
All those in favor of approval of the consent agenda minus item B? Say yes.
Yes.
Anybody opposed? No, move on.
then you talk separately about D?
Well,
Or
or
is that-
say we were going to amend it, and then we would have on the next council agenda for a rev.
So it's already done. I'm new too.
Doesn't happen very often.
We have room for brief public comment now. Anybody have public comment this evening? No. We have no presentations. Finance committee.
We met today at 5:00 and reviewed the bills, payroll. Let's see, journal entries and current invoices, and we recommend, well, make a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $107,804.60.
Supported.
Motion, any support, any discussion?
I'm sorry, was that trustee Larson?
Yes.
Bishop?
Yes.
Dunham? Yes. Larson?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes,
Needham?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Wales?
Yes.
Motion carries.
we also reviewed the budget amendment number 1 for fiscal year ending 2/28/23. And we recommend to the village council that we accept that.
Say the numbers again, Nikki.
It was for 02/28/2023.
You made a motion?
The budget amendment.
Awesome.
Motion and support, any discussion on the budget amendment?
What was the reason behind the increase?
This one?
So that was in the police contract, there's a pay increase for emergency medical responders. That was not reflected when we budgeted for the police pay for the year. So this is just an amendment to correct that.
And what was it called again?
Emergency medical responder.
Emergency
So it's-
medical response.
More qualified than you and I, but less qualified than a paramedic.
I remember that from the union contract.
That was built into the contract, yes,
Yeah.
to accommodate that extra.
After the certifications are had.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
We also reviewed the purchase and sale agreement for
Oh, maybe
property.
it's a
We have to
vote.
vote on that.
That's right. I'm trying to hurry up with that.
Your roll call vote, Dunham,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Needham,
Yes,
White,
Yes.
Bishop,
Yes.
Wales.
Yes.
Motion carries.
We also reviewed the purchase and sale agreement for property located at 109 4th Street, and we recommend, I make a motion that we accept that purchase and sale agreement.
Motion, second,
support.
support by Needham. Any discussion?
Yeah, just, this is the property in the municipal parking lot, right?
Correct.
And, isn't this the property that we were trading with the DDA?
Yeah, and luckily Cash was able to explain it to me after a little struggle the other day.
You want to
but
speak to it, Ken?
This is just the,
This
You
is
go ahead.
the agreement for them to purchase it for that amount.
Okay.
And in the contract, it doesn't say purchase from the village. It says purchase from the sellers. So once we get the document swaps turned around, they'll actually purchase it from the DDA. But there are some environmental reasons we haven't done that yet, that Matt's working out with Outlaw Mobby. And so there's a bunch of documentation we have to do yet, but we should have that here in the upcoming month.
and the land splits that had to be done at the trailhead and at
More
Square.
complete.
at the municipal parking lot, those are completed and we just finished those up today. So everything's in order, just waiting on that one last time.
Okay.
I asked that same question during our meeting.
It sounds so familiar.
Any more discussion?
I seconded it.
Your roll call, please.
Certainly. Larson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Needham,
Yes,
White,
Yes.
Bishop,
Yes.
Dunham,
Yes.
Wales.
Yes.
Motion carries.
That was it.
That's it. Thank you very much. Parks and Recreation Committee.
Good evening, everybody. We met on March 10th, all members in attendance, with the exception of Chair Miller, who is dealing with a family emergency. We discussed the needed repairs to the pavilion and restroom concession building for the roofing and soffit areas. Discussed and suggested conversion and metal roofing for both structures, replacing of missing electrical covers on the front and back of the restroom building. Looking into upgrading the DVR system to allow for both the new and the old cameras to work in conjunction to get more coverage. We're noticing that most entry after dark is coming from the backside or the north side of the park, where there's a narrow window that nothing covers. We've got good coverage everywhere else, but they're getting in that little spot. We do have extra cameras because there's the old cameras and the new cameras, so we could double the capacity of that system and get more coverage all over the area. So we're looking into that. I had asked the manager if we could get a request for quote for an addition or an additional pavilion where the cement pad is currently that's empty. We also discussed grant opportunities for securing the wheelchair swing and reworking the playscape to create a pathway and pad necessary for said swing.
That'd be so cool.
That's been something that's been kind of ongoing for a few years that for some reason has not happened yet. I know Parks budget has been extremely small. We discussed it with the DDA, then we had 2 years of COVID shutdown. We just want to get that up and running as well. Cleaning, repairing, painting, and sealing the playscape and replacement of wood chips, completing our CCA remediation process. The purchasing of a court stripe kit for the basketball court. Lock replacement on the concession side of the mechanical building. Lloyd and I discussed the water leak issues earlier on. Again, we're not addressed because everything's been closed down since COVID, and there was no need to immediately jump on top of it. The water's just shut off over there. As the restrooms were not open, we would hope to have them open this spring, thereby no longer needing to get porta potties for that area, as long as users do not destroy the restrooms, causing us to lock them in. We also talked about if we're adding a pavilion, if we would be putting barbecue grills by the pavilion, which brought up the conversation of the ash can over at the park, which weighs some 200-300 pounds. It's very difficult to empty when people use it as garbage cans. To my next question to Lloyd was, how close are we to a natural gas line? Thinking, what about a coin-operated gas grill? Pay $1, use a gas grill. When your time's done, the grill shuts off, no ash, nothing but tinfoil or whatever go in the trash can. Turns out, if you can think it, they exist somewhere. And the first thing I did when I looked online is I found entire parks dedicated to coin-operated grilling in Australia and New Zealand, where they are all raged. There is, however, a company in the United States that makes very cool electric grills that would allow for us to set them up on a coin van, come in, pay $1 and get so much time to cook. And if it's not done, you throw a couple more coins in it, just like going to the car wash. And when it's done, you take your tin foil off the plate and you throw it in the garbage can, and no ash, no fuss, no muss. And you can put them on timers so they will only start at whatever time you want them to start, and they'll end when you want them to end, so you can't have transients camping out there cooking food in the middle of the night. So I'm still researching that right now.
That's
I
love that.
did find the American company, but you have to call them and give them a bunch of information before they get off numbers. Be so much easier. People just go, they're this much per unit. We also discussed if we're doing that, would we do that at Mill Pond? And Mill Pond, Chalker Park are both due for a facelift. This is the time to do it. We have more money in the parks budget than we've had in previous years since I've been on council. Although I do need to request either the manager or clerk to make sure that the skate park funds are not in our line item for the Parks and Rec budget. Because that was made by motion of the council to have its own separate line item.
I remember that.
We don't want to be spending the kids' money on.
Do you know that answer off the top of your head, Angie?
I want to say that it's separated the way it should be.
We'll
but
just
I will
double check that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
So other than that, we have no recommendations at this time. As soon as the snow goes away, we start putting together a work bee and go with the stuff and make Imagination Station all safe and
Is
pretty
it
again.
safe to assume that the handicap swing would be priority number one?
Yes. Well, the wheelchair swing, we already have handicap swings.
I'm sorry, correct.
Yeah, it's been promised for a
I've
long
seen
time.
those before.
Do
and
you
there's
have
usually a lineup
that in
of
your
the
email or
wings.
something?
I've not been able to locate it, but I also have to go back through 4 years of email. So
I'll have it.
Danielle and I had exchanged mail about that wheelchair swing from a couple
I'll
of years
email
back.
Danielle. I'll email Danielle.
I sent her a link for one that I found for
Yeah,
cheap. And again, we have the frame.
we just need.
We just need to swap one thing over to the other end that's now empty. And if we put it on the south end of that trestle frame and just do the path and the pad right there, we only need the body of the swing. We can buy chain from McLean's.
That's some kind of.
And we discussed the grant opportunity, so. Any questions?
Good job.
That That is all I have to report for Parks and Rec.
Public Works.
Immediately after Parks and Rec, Public Works met, and we had several utility bills for the citizens that needed adjustment. Those should be in your notes. Should I break these down case by case and move on one at a time, or can I make a motion for all four?
I would think being that they were all for the same purpose, it's, I mean, it's all leaks, right?
All weeks.
I think it's-
These are all sewer credits, no water entering into the sewer system. So these will all be credits to the sewer bill side.
An opinion, that's fine, isn't it?
I don't see why not.
Unless anybody has specific questions on it.
There is one caveat on that. There is one client that did request if they could have more than the allotted 3 months to pay. We asked what they thought they could do. They asked for a 6-month extension on their payment plan.
So maybe we should do that one by itself.
We can do that one by itself though.
And it will be separate.
All right. So the committee moves for the matter of 410 Lynn Street, 317 Pine Street, 202 Chestnut.
Isn't 410 Lynn the extension?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Sorry, I thought that was 110 North Walnut.
No.
Sorry, I had that backwards. Let me rescind that. We move that 317 Pine Street, 110 North Walnut, and 202 Chestnut Street. Have their bills credited accordingly for the sewer side, as none of the water entered the sewer system, and that all penalty fees be waived from having to wait for this to be taken care of.
Motion and support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Miller,
Yes.
Needham,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Bishop.
Yes.
Dunham,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Wales. Carries.
Okay, second motion, this is dealing with the 410 Lynn Street. The bill was estimated against 526,000 gallons of water usage. Average monthly usage is 2,000. We are recommending and moving to move 524,000 gallons of sewer usage, equating to a credit of $1,666.32, and to extend their payment schedule out to 6 months
Okay.
and to waive the fees.
They're not putting 6 months additional on the three, they're putting 6 altogether.
6 total.
Okay, I misunderstood you the first time. Cool. I'll support.
Any discussion? Roll call.
May I ask a question so that I'm clear when I'm making these adjustments? Was there any discussion on penalties as far as the 6 month, the 6 month?
All penalties to be waived as long as they're making,
Okay, during,
all the previous penalties to be waived, as long as they're making their payments to that 6,
okay,
no harm, no foul.
okay.
Yeah, we've done it before.
She actually thought she'd have it paid sooner.
Just in case.
I talked her into,
Okay, thank you. Let's take a roll call vote. Needham,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Bishop,
Yes.
Dunham,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Wales.
Yes.
Carries.
And the last item on that agenda was the recommendation to add charges to fee schedule related to frozen water lines. We move to approve the proposed changes with additional language that fees be waived for the first issue of frozen line caused by uncovering the meter pit.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion?
Sorry, can you, you did say yes, but the first time is
First time is a warning,
I
yes.
said it out loud.
No, that's an important part of it, and we had actually missed that before the,
Well, I
So-
remember, and then you said it, and then I had to repeat it out loud.
It's Monday, perfectly legit.
Any further discussion? Want to roll call on that second?
Certainly. White,
Yes.
Bishop,
Yes.
Dunham,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Needham,
Yes.
Wales.
Yes.
Carries.
That all for public work?
That concludes my public works portion of the program.
Housing Development Committee.
Third time's the charm. If I could direct your attention to this corner of the room, you will see a large multicolored formatted photo of the village from an aerial view, which is the basic zoning and plotting idea to finish our housing master plan for the Housing and Blight Committee. This is the areas we are focusing on to develop housing opportunities within the village. And it's going to assist us in getting our inventory lined up and directions on how to approach developers and what works best where and so forth and so on. The survey that has been online for the past few months is still active and will remain active at least for another 30 days. We will be discussing next month about scheduling a May public meeting for information gathering and information giving, so people can understand what we're trying to do with it right now. We have no actions that we need the council to take action on tonight.
You mean this is the expected zoning, right?
Yes. We do believe that it matches up with what's current.
We propose.
Or proposed, yes, because that still hasn't gone in front of anybody yet.
Surveys on the site, village site.
Pardon me?
Where do you find a survey?
It's on the village website.
Okay.
There's, same thing we've been doing for the past few months, just getting our ducks in a row and trying to get this moving forward. If anyone has any questions, I will attempt to answer them to the best of my ability. Manager Popa, Mr. Cook have been sitting in on these meetings. Everybody's on the same page. We're just trying to find those opportunities to get more housing in Kalkaska. There's some hopefully great things on the horizon that are already in the works, but until more triggers are pulled, I don't have any answers I can give to that. Unless Cash knows or Aaron knows. So concludes my report.
Sir? We're for a police report, energy report, /
which do you want first?
both.
Okay, so for the manager's report, the house on Court Street we tore down, Habitat just contacted me again, asking me what the dollar amount was on that. I sent them that today, so hopefully they'll be purchasing that from us for what we have into it, and they're looking at some multifamily housing. Well 6, bids are coming in on the test wells. We're looking at possible grant opportunities that could help fund that well 6. Gosling is helping me with that. March 22nd and 23rd for up to 6 hours, there's going to be a limited power outage, Angie,
Well, yes,
in the Dresden Street area.
thought it was West Street.
West Street, that's right, from consumers. So it's going to be a very localized, but if you live in that area, your power could be out. But what was their term? Nothing essential, just your house.
Yeah, no critical.
Critical,
customers identified.
What were the dates on that?
22nd and 23rd for up to 6 hours each day. They didn't give us
West Street?
Yeah, they didn't give us an exact, but if you live near West Street, you're probably in that area.
Starts at 9 a.m.
I think the center of it is the apartments. Northwind
Okay.
is the center of the area.
Well, no offense to them, but I hope it stays there.
Yeah. We've started training with Allison Tilley. I don't know if anybody knows her, but she has been helping us with our lien in the police department. She is now training with Faith on cannabis and front office stuff as a fill-in part-time, and to take over the cannabis eventually when Faith becomes the assistant manager in August. Some information that I found out about the General Law Village Act. We were always under the understanding that we could not use general fund money in other accounts, like to supplement, say, a sewer project. That is not accurate. I have 3 attorneys' opinions on it because it was such a change in concept for me. And all of them said we can absolutely use general fund money to supplement those projects.
It's always been like that.
There's no restriction. I don't know that we have extra general fund money to do that, but if we do and there's projects we need to do, we have the ability to fix that. That's all from the village manager side. From the police department side, the only thing I have to share other than the normal look at what everybody did last month was I actually signed and read a warrant to a subject today who was charged with a delivery causing death at the North Country Motel. And resulted in a young lady dying. It is a life felony charge with 4 habitual offense notice, so he's facing life plus life, possibly, as a max.
Hot spot.
I can't release the name yet, but tomorrow it'll probably be a press release once they arraign him.
It'll probably be what?
A press release once he's arraigned, once it becomes public info. But that was all on the work of the police department and the officers who are they know who's doing what and where they're doing it, and it's just a matter of putting a stop to it. And hopefully this will at least make people think before they come here.
Awesome job.
Very proud of our police department. They did a very good job on this one. They do a good job on all of them, but just when you can call a family and tell them that their loved one's death is being handled appropriately, it's a different day.
Dean and I were just talking about this, so it's getting more in depth all the time.
I had a technical question about the report. Thank you for sharing that. On the ledger report, sometimes where there's the name, it just says Kalkaska Department of Public Safety instead. And what does that usually mean?
Can I see
Yeah, just print one page. But here.
Oh, I think those are specifically because they're municipal civil infractions. So on certain, I'll just tell you what it is. We have realized that with our prosecutor's office, no insurance charges are not being prosecuted. You get pulled over for no insurance and you get insurance a couple of days later, they'll drop the charge for you. So we write a municipal civil infraction, which is a fine that just is payable to our office. And then if they don't pay that, then we submit a warrant request to the prosecutor's office, and then they're more than willing to charge because they've been given the opportunity to fix it and didn't.
Makes sense.
Well, some of them say no insurance and then have a name. So are those ones
It's
just
probably,
duplicates?
I'm guessing it has to do with how it was inputted.
Okay, thank you.
I also think it's because they had more than one. This is just like no insurance. This one has no proof of insurance and registration and speed. I think that might be why.
This is where she's talking
Yeah, she was talking about these.
for some reason. I'm not sure why we show up there instead of them.
Right.
And it's not on all of them. I don't know.
Oh,
That's a great question.
right here. Another one, suspended.
You'll have that before next meeting, right?
That's probably gonna be a court question, so in theory, yes.
A database thing, maybe?
Yeah.
That's all, thank you.
That's it. All right, as far as my report goes, I just want to say a big thank you to Mr. Dennis Clark for taking over the management position and taking the reins on everything and kind of doing some digging and Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much. We have no unfinished business. We do still have a couple items under new business. Adoption of resolution 2022-011 National Resources Trust Fund Development Grant.
That's what I should see.
We had a motion or a resolution before about applying for the grant. And it was for all grants specific to the trailhead. We're working with Gosling Zubek, and for the DNR Trust Fund grant, it has to be specific verbiage and specifically for their grant. So Gosling Zubek got us the correct DNR language to apply for the grant. That's due in March.
So this is basically something that's already been approved, it's just approving it with different wording.
And the, do we need a,
We need to make a motion.
yeah, I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution.
You have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, one more discussion.
Should have the number in there.
2022-011.
Thank
The match, that's coming from the DDA's budget?
Yeah, the DPA, and also we got a $50,000 Rotary Charities grant. We're also applying Wednesday for a $250,000 grant from the Consumers Energy Planet Fund. And we also have the option to go for Impact $100,000 grant. So we put 200 in our budget. We're trying to infill it with other
You were
grants.
close last year, right?
Yeah,
In fact,
we made the finals. And we applied, the consumer's grant is 3 phases. The first page is a small written application. The second phase is a personal interview where one of their staff comes down, and we are invited to do the final submission that everybody gets to apply for that.
What is the anticipated cost for the total project? I know it's a guess.
500 to 550.
That's a pretty narrow guess for that, I don't know.
Okay. I'll make the motion.
We have a motion.
Okay, motion, I'm sorry.
No more discussion?
I think it has to be a roll call.
Yeah.
Bishop,
Yes.
Dunham,
yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Needham,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Wales.
Yes.
Motion carries.
C, appoint village representative to county tax allocation board. County tax allocation board, is that something you're willing to do?
Yeah, we only meet 3-4 times a whole year, so.
Sure thing, sure good, thank you. And E, consider recommendation from village planning commission to appoint Jessica Smith to vacancy on board, term ending November 30th, 2022.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
Well, no, let me back out of it. I have to abstain.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll support.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, who was the Bobby?
Motion and support, all those in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Anybody opposed, say no. And one abstaining.
I'm abstaining.
Again, we have room for public comment. Do you have any public comment this evening?
Yeah, I have something to say.
About anything? About anything that we're talking about or no? Oh, because
About anything else? Or even anything we didn't talk about.
well, that Parks and Rec, that just sounds cool. With the electric grill, that was cool.
All right, we're adjourned, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have parties.
6:34.
I'm looking out of my house.
Motions and such tomorrow.